Welcome to sleepingdog.video. Today I would like to show off a new keyboard case I just got by a company called Gold and Cherry. I'm back and I wanted to just make these into different segments. So here's this. This is my Logitech older keyboard, which I'm going to show off a little bit in how the light keys work and how bright. This is so right here, let's see if you can see it. So I can't really point it out, but if you can see in the center there, look to the center of the bottom where the hinge is, to the back, you can see kind of a little light rectangle thing. That's a spring. And you put your finger on the spring here and push down, and that's how it locks the iPad into the case. So let's see if I can keep it up in view of the camera. And so I'm doing it one-handed, so bear with me. And I put it down in the bottom of the case first, and then so I put it in the bottom of the case first, gently, and then I go back. If I don't drop it, because I don't want to drop it, it's still a nice iPad, I start pressing on it as I go across, and I'm doing it with one hand. You heard that click, and it clicked into place. Now this thing is not, the iPad's not going anywhere. It's pretty sturdy, but to get it in and out of the case is not super, it's not totally hard, but it's not also easy that you can just whip it in and out. So bear that in mind. But this is such a nice case. I don't know if you're going to want to whip it in and out of the case anyway, because this is such a nice case. And sitting on your lap, I may even, if you bear with me on the bending my Pixel phone is what I'm recording on, down so it can show my lap. So if you bear with me down to my lap, let's see, keep going down, 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 down. Okay, let's try this for a moment. So on this lap, it might slide because of but pretty much I'm not have my hands. I'm a little worried it'll slip off because of the chair I have. But on your couch that you're more level, it works better. But right here, let me even put my iPad down or my phone down a little bit more to show you. What I just wanted to show you real quick was that it's pretty weighted very well. It's weighted just pretty close, if not exactly the same as the MacBook Pro. So I can close it like this. I can open it up. This is where you can see that's the logo for the Apple logo, and that's part of the iPad. And that's also where you put your two fingers and gently push on it to get it out of the case. So then when you open it up, you can open it up all the way to here. It doesn't flip all the way level flat. But you couldn't on the MacBook Pro anyway. So if I do this, I can open it up, and now you see the iPad screen. So now I'm back in my home screen, and I can rotate it at any angle I want, and that's awesome. And now let me see if I can raise my Pixel phone back up to the right height. So that's really nice. And let me tell you some more stuff about it. And so to get stuff off, now what you have to do, I don't know if I'll do it for you. I'll just show you how to do it. So let me put this down to get things in view. Okay, and maybe like that. Now you want to push on this. Now the spring's pretty tight, so you want to put it on your lap or you want to put it on a table, and then you want to push on it let's see if I can show you from over here. So let me swing around here and adjust this back up again. No, down. Sorry. Down again. So let's go around here. So as I try to adjust my tripod, I just have a like $40 tripod I use with my phone. So the head isn't really a fluid head, if anybody knows that term from videography. So it isn't very nice at turning, so it's a little jerky when I move it around. So, but anyway, when you push down on here, so you're going to push down on here. Now, if you can see or not see, this hand here, this hand here, I'm pushing in where the logo is on the iPad as I push down with either one finger or two fingers. I don't know whether it's easier to push down with my thumb or my first finger and my second finger together. I'm experimenting, but this is a pretty hard spring. So let's try with my thumb and press down, push out, and you see how I pushed out with the back, and that pushes out, and I'm getting a little bit better as I try it. So the first times I tried it, it was pretty hard, but now since I'm getting the hang of it, it's a little bit easier. It's still, the spring's pretty tough, and that's fine because you want it to stay nice and secure. You don't want to feel that it could drop your iPad out of the case at any turn. You heard how that snapped into place. So that's awesome. So I'm going to put you on pause so I can go to the next segment, which is showing off. I'm going to show off the difference between this one at first, this case, and my Logitech, older Logitech case. These are both for the second generation iPad, and I'll explain what I like and dislike about the Logitech case and this case, and then I will go into how the Golden Cherry case compares to my 2020 Magic keyboard case. Let's see if this works now. If you notice that I'm dressed a little different, that's because I missed one segment that I wanted to talk about that I'm putting into this video. So with the Golden Cherry case, I saw that I didn't explain what these all these ports are. Now, what's nice about the Golden Cherry case, I'll stand up so I can show it to you and then talk. This one that's called the USB-A, the regular USB size port. You'll know it as a regular USB size port, but its official name is USB-A. And that's a kind of the bigger, flatter USB port. And what it is that's a port where you can charge. So this case, you can charge, you can use it as a battery bank. So that it's about a 52 to 5600 milliamp battery in here. So basically you can use this port to charge your iPhone, Pixel phones, Android, and any other device that uses a USB charger. So that's nice, even though it's not a huge battery in here, but it's nice to have. So you can even take this port and go up here. This is where you charge your iPad and the cutout. And so you could put a cable in here and actually charge your iPad to extend the battery. So that's nice. Now this little thing here, if I can get close and angle it a little bit so you can see it better, that's actually just, I'll take it out for a second, because it's kind of cool. Now let's see if you can see this. Now this is a little device and it goes with a cable, and I've been buying these that are, as I put this back in, or I'll just set this aside actually. But anyway, what this is magnetic. So you know the old magnetic connectors for the MacBook Pro, the MagSafe? Well, these are similar to the MagSafe connectors. And I will do a review on a couple of the MagSafe connectors that I bought. All in all, I have to say that I like them right now, but that's not this review. So anyway, this port that I took the MagSafe connector out of is I think it's a micro USB connector. It could be a mini. I can never get them straight because they're both almost identical. To the eye, at least, they're almost identical. But I think it's a micro USB port that's for charging. I wish this had USB-C charging for it. And then, as I said in the review, that I wish it had a integrated trackpad. And then I wish the keys were lighter. So those are the three things that I would say are the downside with this case. But everything out about this case, as you'll hear me, this is probably repeating myself, I love about the case. So I do love the case if it wasn't for those three items. And so anyway, this down here is the turning. That's on when it's pushed up, and that's off if you want to turn it off to save the battery. I think it goes into power save mode or something if you don't switch it off. And then you switch it on and it'll switch on the backlight keys for a moment. And I think the backlight keys turn off after a period of time of non-use. And then so that's one thing. So basically that's all I wanted to show in this segment. I'll turn it around and show you that there's nothing on this side. And it's a nice premium. I do want to show you that I see this cutout. That's how premium this case is, that it even has this cutout. So when you close the top of the case, it looks so much like a MacBook Air that even has that little cutout. So then I pull it up and then it turns on, and then it almost at one point sitting in the other room before I put together the video, it was so much I almost thought it didn't have a touchscreen. I thought it was a MacBook and didn't have touchscreen. Then I had to remind myself, no, this is an iPad, not a MacBook Air. So the only final thing, and then I'll get to the next segment, I'm going to insert this in the middle, is that it's going to be something over the next year, year and a half, to see how this iPad and the new iPads fit into the line of MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros, because they're going to be so similar in line that I don't know what it's going to blur the line on whether you get a case like this and put your iPad in it, or you buy a MacBook Air. It's going to be pretty much a toss-up and going to be fun for arguments on forums and use groups and podcasting sites and everything like twit.tv to see how this is going to play out. So this is the end of this segment. I'll show you again the ports, the USB-A at the top, and then the micro USB for charging, your case, because it's Bluetooth. This is for charging your iPad and iPhones, and that's the on-off switch. That's my older iPad, and I'm showing. And then anyway, this is what you really want to see about how you put it in. Now this one, you lock at the top. So I push it into the top, and then I snap it in on the sides here. So these I snap into the sides, and then it kind of holds in on the lips on the side. So these lips on the side at the top. And then that's the only thing. You see how it is open at the bottom. So it's kind of flimsy, this Logitech. The keyboard itself I really like, but it's kind of flimsy. Now I'm going to go, so that's where you charge over there, and etc. So that's all I wanted to show is there's only this one place to hold it. And this could flimsy back and forth, maybe pop off. It's a semi, but not really hard magnetic to hold it on. So that's what I wanted to say, that this being aluminum down here is what I loved about the case. But this, and the keys are nice, responsive, have good key travel. So that's nice. And it has a full row of top keys for all your fast forward, rewind, all those things. Brightness controls. Take my Pixel phone off my tripod, so it makes it a lot easier to show you the keys, because I can put the iPad, as you can see, on my table. So this I wanted to show. These are the keys. That's to go down in brightness, and that's to go up in brightness. And so this is off, no backlighting. And for a second, you can see how that looks. And then there's 2 settings for brightness. I don't know if you would call it 3 settings, one for no brightness, and then level 1 and level 2. This is level 1, and as you can see, it's pretty bright. It's a little brighter in my video. And then I'll go second brightness. Now you see how bright this is. So this is pretty bright. And as I said, this keyboard uses the pogo pins to power. So it's not a Bluetooth keyboard. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I just wanted to point it out again. And I just wanted to point out how bright this is. Now let's go over to my Magic Keyboard. I'll put you on pause for a second. Okay, I'm back, and this is my 2020 iPad Pro in the in the Magic Keyboard case. And you can see already how bright the keys are. And you can see, let's pull back. You can see I can tilt. I'll probably go back because it's a little jerky hand holding. But for right now, I just want to show, and then I'll put it back in my tripod, my camera. But I wanted to show. Okay, first, there's a different way of doing the backlighting. There's a sensor in the Magic Keyboard that senses the light and will do the backlighting for you. The level, that is. And as you can see on this keyboard also, there is no top level keys, function keys. Now let me show you over here. You see these are all the top level function keys that this one, Golden Cherry, has. But this one does have the trackpad down here, the Magic Keyboard. So what I really want to show you right now, so if you go into settings, and then you go down to general. Let's see where general is. Just a second. Okay, general. Then you go down to keyboard. And then you go to hardware keyboard. And you go down here. This is the slider. Now you see how many steps it took me to get to the brightness, keyboard brightness. Now that's, I'm hoping, an iOS, which is iPad OS 14, I hope they correct that and make it much easier, a one-step process to get the brightness, because this is ridiculous that you have to go all the way far if you want to. But in the thing about, just real quick, about people have gripes about Apple, in that you either love Apple or you hate Apple, but the point is that Apple thinks they know best. So because they have a sensor to lighten and darken the keyboard, they think that's all you need, and they think you'll never want to adjust the brightness manually. So why should you have a way to access the keyboard shortcut in one step if you'll never have to adjust the keyboard ever, because you have this built-in sensor? And you either like that way of thinking or you don't. So that's another discussion. But here, since we're at the brightness, now you can this is how you raise and lower the brightness. I'm showing this first because I'm going to have to tilt my phone down to show you the brightness. So let me go down to 0 brightness, and that's 0 brightness. So I'm going to up the brightness, and I'm going to tell you about how far. That's about 10, 20%. And watch how bright, just incredible brightness this is. So that's about 30, 40, 50%, 60, 70, 75, 80, 90, and then 100% brightness. And this is, I don't know if you can tell, but this is really, really bright. So it's incredible that you can go and you have a slider and 40% brightness, even with my eyes that need bright keys. So because I have overhead lighting, it doesn't show up as well. But this is really bright. Now this one over here, not so much. Right now, at this angle, it shows up pretty bright, so I can see the keys. But in a little bit dim lighting, I really need that backlighting for me. Some people might not mind. If you don't mind, the Golden Cherry case is a premium case. You can't get the Magic Keyboard for the 2nd generation and 1st generation iPad Pros. So just keep that in mind. If I could get the Magic Keyboard for my 1st and 2nd generation iPad case, even at $350, would I get it over this at Cherry case at $150? And I just might do that because watch this also. Another thing is that you see how I just popped it right off, and here it is. Here it is as a tablet. And because it's magnetic keyboard, I'm just one hand. Let's see if I can do it one hand. You see right there, I don't know if it showed, again, because I'm hand holding, but I took it off, and now watch this. I'll try not to move the iPhone or the Pixel phone, and then I'm going to try to put it back. It's hard to do it with one hand, but trust me, it's really easy to put it back in the case. And now it's back in the case, and now I can rotate it and put it back down. And that's really seamless and easy. Okay, one additional thing that I will probably add in the middle here segment is I wanted to show this has this rubber membrane, which I'm never going to use because I like to feel the keys, and I'll just be careful not to get a lot of dirt in it. It looks like, I don't know if you can get dirt underneath these keys or not, but if you wanted to use the membrane, you could. It goes like this. I don't know that the membrane, let's see if you can see it, if it actually pops on to the keys. It kind of just rests on top. So it's kind of flimsy and I don't like. It's rubbery, so that's good. But if you want to use it, you have that option. That's all I wanted to add to this segment. And it makes it look kind of, see how it looks kind of washed out and kind of frosted white. So that's another thing, and makes the keys a little bit rubbery. But you have this to use if you wanted. Although I don't recommend using it. Just be careful not spilling on the case. So that's all I wanted to say for this segment. I'll be back with the next segment. So I'm back for my final and more formal wrap-up. I would say that for $150 and the premium aluminum body construction, I love using this. So I use this probably 40% of the time, even though it's an older iPad. And I use my new iPad probably 60% of the time. And this is really awesome for watching videos still and doing everything. So in that standpoint, the case design is really awesome and I love it. Now, if they made, as I said earlier, let me get out so you can just see that as I'm talking and wrapping up. If they made, I don't want to hit this and knock it off. So this, if they made this case for the first and second generation iPads at $350, which is what this case cost, would I want to buy it over the Golden Cherry for $150? I might still want to buy this case over the Golden Cherry case, just for the fact that the keys are brighter and as an integrated trackpad. And if I can show you again how easy it is just to pop it off and go if you want to use it as a regular tablet. And then, as you can see, I'm putting it back on. I lay it back in and snap. Now it's back into the case. Now, I love this case so much that I don't have to, for even drawing, I don't have to take it out of the case. So I can do a lot of my drawing on 3D design and everything, photo design, photo editing, and I don't have to take it out of the case as much as I used to. And that's something I love. And then I can bend it up and down about from this far to this far. It doesn't tilt all the way over. But it's those things that I love about this case. And this case, it's a little heavy, but it is nice and thin, this iPad case. It's as thin as the Folio case of the old Folio cases, which didn't have a keyboard in it at all. This is running off the pogo pins on the iPad. This iPad is, if you can see on the back, somewhere on the back here, is the pogo pins. Instead of being on the bottom like the second generation, the third and fourth generation iPads had it on the back. And then it runs off that. So that's nice. And then it snaps in again just like that. I can one hand snap it in and then take it in and out. So I would say I would probably buy this case if I could for the first and second generation iPad Pros. If it had, one, the integrated trackpad, and two, the very bright slider and everything for the backlit keys. So, but that doesn't mean, one last final thing, it doesn't mean that I don't love this case and I don't love using it and it isn't awesome. So I would have to say you would have to make up your own choice. If you can't get it, the Magic Trackpad, and we can't at the moment, then this is a great, great alternative. And if you don't mind that it's not as bright backlit keys, and that's not a big issue for you, then at $150, yes, I would recommend it. Yes, I would go out and buy it. So those are the things to look for. I told you that, so I don't have to repeat myself again. And this has been, I'll open this up. This has been my review of the Gold and Cherry keyboard aluminum case for the iPad Generation 1 and 2 iPad Pro. Until next review, this has been John for sleepingdog.video.